man. Bill, we made it to Paris, man. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah.
Olympics time.
Bonjour, mon ami. We're here.
Yeah.
We're here.
I'll go with that.
Yeah. We're here finally, man. Like delayed flights.
Yeah.
You know, winding through traffic. You know, it was great to see you, man. We've hung out at a lot of places, but never, I don't think never internationally, right? Never here.
No. Well, that's a good point. And you know, we got up this morning, a little jet lagged and everything. And you said we had this cafe, and I was like a little confused, man, because we were driving through a lot of traffic. I'm like, this better be some special place, but I think you picked a really special place for us.
Well, I mean, we went through traffic and all that, and I finally said, well, there are a lot of cafes, but this is
we drove by about 100 of them.
Well, a billion cafes, and on the surface they all look the same.
Okay.
But this is a special cafe, Cafe Tournon.
Okay.
Because black folks have been coming to Paris since the 1900s. Some even came a little before 1900. So we've been coming to Paris for a long time, and there were black communities of people who we picked out. The French are famous for picking out cafes, and this was one of the cafes in the 50s that a lot of black writers, James Baldwin, Richard Wright, Ollie Harrington, they came here.
Really?
This is where they hung out. And just imagine, man, you've traveled a lot, and imagine you find your own community. And this is where you come, you have drinks, you have coffee, and this is where a lot of black writers and artists in the 50s particularly, right after World War II, came here to do exactly what we're doing. So in many ways, man, you and I are carrying on this great tradition of black artists, who are meeting here. So no, I thought since we're going to start introducing, folks to Paris, why don't we come here to Cafe Tournon to start our conversation?
Oh, definitely some black history here, man.
A lot of black history here, man.
Well, what about this city, though? I mean, I know it has a lot of black history that probably a lot of African Americans aren't familiar with.
Yeah, well, there's one community in particular, Montmartre. Montmartre, in the 1920s, is one of the first areas. It became one of the first black communities. Because that's probably the first thing you would do. You're gonna relocate here. Yeah. And you said, well, where should I live? Yeah. And that was one of the first communities. It was Montmartre, and then you have a cafe. Well, where do black folks congregate? And this is one of those places you congregate. And then the history, you have to also understand that the reason why so many African Americans came here, because they were escaping the United States, man.
Wow.
I mean, it was don't have to tell you that. Yeah. And this was considered, you could kind of come here as African American writer or musician and actually be appreciated and be respected and not having to, all kind of stuff that you deal with in the United States.
Yeah.
So
Still deal with.
Still deal with. In fact, there are people who say that we're used to it because we've been in the United States. Yeah. It's kind of like a fish in water, that you get so used to water, you're not aware of until you get thrown out of water. Yeah. And that's kind of I think how sometimes we are with racism, that we're just accustomed to it till you come to a place like this where you kind of breathe a little bit, and we were saying too, in the pecking order of things, black American artists and black Americans in general, kind of one of the few places in the world where we're kind of at the top of the pecking order, when you're a black American. Yeah. You're oh, yeah, because you guys.
Yeah, no, I went to lunch yesterday and went to this little cafe by the hotel. Yeah. And this guy was like, where are you from? Right. I told him I was from U.S. Yeah. Begrudgingly at the time.
Yeah, right, because you didn't know, right?
And he was almost like, oh, yeah, come in.
Yeah.
You want steak and frites? And he was very, very nice, got me some wine and everything. Right. So it's certainly much more welcoming than I expected.
Oh, yeah, no, man. And the fact that everybody's excited about the Olympics, Yeah. One thing, I've seen in every city, this is my 5th Olympics, and invariably everybody wants to find out, hopefully, how are we going to represent? How are we going to do?
You're talking U.S.
Yeah, well, the whole city.
Okay.
The whole city is always how are we going to do? You know, are we going to pull this off?
Yeah.
You know, so that's always a thing, and that's what I'm really curious about, is that how are they going to, a place like Paris, how are they going to pull this off? So
Yeah.
I'm just curious, man. You're sort of like, you have your PhD in hoops. You're a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
When you come here, what do you? I'm just curious. One of the storylines for me is I'm wondering if the U.S. basketball team is going to even lose. Are they even going to be pushed?
Yeah. No, I definitely think they're going to be pushed. I saw a stat the other day where it was like the Dream Team only played against 9 other NBA players the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, I think now there's over 70
Yeah.
playing on non-U.S. teams.
Right.
So certainly the competition is much stronger. They're definitely not intimidated.
Right.
I mean, obviously they're respectful of the talent.
Right.
You know, USA has extreme talent. If your last guy is Derek White,
Right. Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you know, who's a borderline all-star,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of these teams do have NBA players, but they're not stars, right? So
Right.
certainly U.S. is the star-studded team, the most talented team. But even when they play South Sudan, there's former or you know, current NBA players
Right.
or future NBA players like Kaman Mayuwatch on that team. So I do think they're heavy favorites. I do think they're capable of winning every match. But you got to remember, like, international basketball is different. It's a 40-minute game.
Right.
And you saw against South Sudan in the exhibition game that if a team gets hot, which
Right.
they did from three-point range, anything can happen.
Yeah.
So I do think they'll win the gold. I just think that the game's going to be probably a lot closer than most Americans would like, right? And it's not that the U.S. isn't the most talented, but these teams, I think, these other countries have so much more familiarity,
Yeah.
playing with one another. They've been playing together for years, you know, and that's something that we don't have, the same kind of continuity and camaraderie as the other teams.
But we have so much depth, man.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about that. We have 15, and I think the rest of the world could take the next 15.
Or 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go 12,
Yeah.
and I'm sure every country here will take our next 12.
Or our third 12.
And
or
probably
our
even the
fourth
third 12.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I keep thinking of like how in World War II, you know, the Germans had great technology.
Yeah.
But what they did not have that we had, the United States, we had the ability to like make a lot of stuff. You know,
Yeah.
we had the capability
Yeah.
to do a lot. We had depth.
Yeah.
And I think that's the same thing with hoops. And then I'm really curious, you know, about the women too.
Yeah.
Because the women have been even more dominant.
Yeah.
You know, and then with this whole idea of should Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese be on the team?
No.
And I don't know how you
Yeah,
felt
I mean,
about that.
This team is different than I think the USA men. I don't think, I mean, Australia's always good.
Yeah.
You know, obviously you got to respect the home country, and
Right.
but this ain't like men's side, man. There's
Is
not,
even more dominant.
I expect the USA women to run through this tournament,
Right.
to easily get the gold, to dominate. Their toughest game is going to be the WNBA All-Star game, which they lost.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't, you know, like they talk about the gap closing. I don't think it's closing in women's basketball. So I expect them to have a much easier, fun ride to the
Yeah.
title. They just, the Caitlin Clark thing, to me, is
Right.
you can't tell me that she deserves it more than the other people, other than just her name and her publicity. And, you know, certainly more people might have watched, more jerseys would have got sold,
Right.
all those kind of things. But I think what people don't realize is you got women on this team that have been a part of this team for months.
Right.
They've done all the training camp stuff.
Right.
They've done all the meetings. They've done this and done that. And they've been in the WNBA as a star for a while.
Right.
So to suddenly like push one of them out for a hot rookie, I mean, yeah, I get the American mentality of that.
Right.
She'll have the 28 Olympics.
Yeah.
She'll have 32 Olympics. She'll get her
Right.
time. But
Right.
to force her out and push somebody else out that already proven themselves that already been on the team, that have done
Right.
the work. I don't think that was fair.
Yeah, I agree 100%. She's got a lot ahead of her. We talk about what we're looking forward to here in Paris. Besides being at these great cafes.
Weather's
speaking
amazing
history.
too, man.
Huh?
Weather's amazing.
Yeah. The weather's nice.
Yeah.
But also, I'm looking forward to. Let's start from the top.
The opening ceremonies.
The opening ceremony. I'm really looking forward to the opening ceremony because one of the things I've always loved about the Olympics is the stadium.
Yeah.
If you look at all the history of Olympic
Yeah.
films, that's the most dramatic part when the teams enter the stadium and you have they hold the banner of their teams, and then finally the host country, everybody goes crazy, and the United States comes in, and no matter what continent I'm on, and no matter how I'm feeling about the United States at that particular time, when I'm in a foreign country, whenever the United States team comes in with the flag and all that stuff, and the U.S., the delegation never dips this flag. All other countries will come and they'll dip their flag, but the United States never dips their flag.
Yeah.
And so
I didn't know that.
So here, now they're going to put it, the French, of course, they're going to go down the Seine. They're going to do this on the river.
Yeah,
and
I'm
like
very
wondering
curious to see how that goes.
Yeah, how are they going to pull
I'm a little
that up?
nervous about that.
Yeah.
And I hate saying that.
Yeah.
But I did drive by there
Yeah.
on Tuesday with our great driver, Shirley.
Yeah, Shirley.
And
shout out to Shirley.
Yeah. And it does seem like the local police, the local authorities have done a great job of making it a safe, hard location to get to.
Yes.
Now, the thing that to me, I could tell it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the boats going down is beautiful. So, but I'm trying to figure out what, USA got a cruise ship because of all the people they got, and does Haiti got a little tiny paddle boat?
A boat.
They got 7 people. How do they figure out?
And
the
they will
size
be
of the
able
boat,
to get here without
right?
capsizing.
It was LeBron's gonna be in the front.
Can LeBron swim, do you think? Just to capture, think he can.
I don't know. He's from Akron. I don't know if they need to learn how to swim in Akron.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We were talking about that. The thing capsizes. How many of these brothers could swim?
They're gonna have lifeguards on every boat. So I'm trying to figure out this whole boat thing and how he's gonna be waving a flag on the boat, right?
I know. LeBron, don't.
Yeah, but you know what the disappointing thing about that? And I talked to Steph Curry, it's interesting. Steph's in his first Olympics. People don't understand that.
I know.
Steph Curry's in his first Olympics, but he said when he previously watched the Olympics, he really enjoyed the interaction with the other countries coming up to the USA basketball players, wanting to take pictures, wanting to just meet them.
Yeah.
And based on, I think, how their setup is that's not going to happen.
Right.
The USA athletes will be together, but I think part of the beauty of the opening ceremony of the Olympics, and this is only my second one, is to see the guy from Switzerland or the woman from Romania, I want to take a picture with Kevin Durant, right?
Yeah, right.
And so I just don't think that they'll be able to get this interaction, but I do think them going down this river is certainly going to be very beautiful.
It'll be, and as you were saying, I was saying, the French, in a way, it's kind of it's about us. It ain't about all that. It's about us, and it's going to be very pretty and artistic. But that's the thing that I enjoy too. Just particularly with the dream team and all that, with people, just the camaraderie. I don't know how much you're going to feel when you get beat by 50 points. You're going to still want that. The other thing I'm looking forward to too, we're talking about dominance. The women's gymnastics team. Yeah. That to me is one of the phenomenal stories, particularly since we've been talking about black stuff here. How black women. Yeah. And remember, growing up, man, that's not anything that black folks did. Black women did. Gymnastics. And when we had one like Diane Durham or something, now, man, black women have become a dominant force in gymnastics. Yeah. Now I'm doing a piece.
And Biles is back.
Yeah, Biles is coming back, which is a big storyline. Yeah. But I'm wondering, there's a brother named Frederick Richards, who's a young brother at the University of Michigan, 19 years old, and he's here on a mission because the men in gymnastics have just been an afterthought because the women have just won everything, and black men, and men in general, U.S. men, they're just kind of we got to have y'all here. And he really wants to put men's gymnastics on the map, and he wants to use this Olympics to do it. So I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Has there ever been a great black gymnast, male gymnast?
No, not at this level, not at the gold medal level. So we're kind of still, that could be historic too, if Frederick Richards could actually lead the men to a gold medal. That'd be a big story. And also, I'm going to be writing about the women's water polo team, which has been a dominant force.
Flavor.
It's about Flavor Flav, man.
Flavor Flav, they're hype man.
I know.
You don't look excited about that.
Oh, come on, really? Do you think Flavor Flav?
Man, the clock, Flavor Flav. They maybe have a red, white, and blue clock. Yeah, boy, you're not excited about Flavor Flav? I'm excited because you're excited. Okay.
And
Snoop Dogg's here too.
And the women are excited. And this is whole like a branding thing. Everybody here is elevating their brand. So Flavor Flav. I don't know if Snoop Dogg needs to elevate his brand anymore. So I'm like I said, I'm just excited because of that. But
what about breakdancing? Breaking.
I am excited about breaking, and I'm gonna be writing about that later on because
they got any black ones, or is it all?
Well, I don't.
You would think we would assume, but I don't know, right?
Well, to me, that's the whole fascination of cultural appropriation, where breakdancing is something that began in the Bronx, in New York. And I'm sure none of those brothers who were like on the sidewalk, there are a lot of black pioneers. Eventually, Latins became involved, but breaking was really a African American phenomenon. They began in the Bronx, New York. And now here you are in Paris. And it's almost like, like other things that black folks have created, that you create it, but then when it gets to a point of profitability or whatever, you're not there at all. So I'll be curious to see our team, and if they're, I'm not sure, I may not have put this in there. If they're, I know there was one brother who was in the mix to be on the team, but we'll find out. So I'm fascinated about that. But just in general, man, just the whole experience of us being in Paris, the Olympics in Paris. I'm just very excited about that. The competition. And I'm also excited about, it doesn't have anything to do with brothers, but I love table tennis in the Olympics. I don't know if you play table tennis.
I'm not good at it, no.
Well, I know some people think they're good at it.
Waiting for dominoes to come in.
Olympic dominoes? What about Olympic
dominoes
pool?
And spades.
Yeah, Olympic bid whisk.
Yeah.
But no, man, I think it's been great. It's great. It'll be great. We're going to do a few of these. But it'll be great to hang out with you, and it'll be great
and then I'm actually going to go to Lille for a week because basketball, men's and women's basketball will be there. I am curious about seeing 3-on-3, keep an eye on Maddox on the 3-on-3 team. It's 3-on-3 basketball is going on. But, I checked out a Nike party last night.
How was that?
Interesting, showing the history of Nike shoes. Went to the Soho House, checked that out. I got to take you there. I think you'll love it.
Well, I got to hang out with you, Marc.
I know a couple people.
I know you do. I do you too. Let me hang out with Marc Spears, man.
So, but we'll have a lot to talk about. This is just the first of several of these conversations, man. And we're part of this history now. We can say that we had some coffee and a pastry here.
That's right, Cafe
Tournon.
Tournon.
All the legendary writers, and you're certainly a legendary writer too, so they can put you on that list.
Well, we're in the flow, man. We're in the flow of history.
Yes, sir.
So count on it.